I love men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the Jeep, so come on, let's ride to the nerd store around the corner. Boy said he wants some Star Trek and juice, but I really don't want to. Feel like I had a I love men. Last week, I must stay deep, cause talk is cheap. I like men. Kirk, Spock, Scotty, I love men. So what can I do? I really beg you, my lord. Tell me flirting is just like a sport. Anything fly, it's all good. Let me jump in the Jeep and send in the trumpet. I love men. A little bit of Kirk in my, a little bit of Scotty on the, but a little bit of Sulu's what I see. A little bit of,
It's the anti-checker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
What is going on, everybody? Michael J. Crawford, the anti-trekker here, and me poo. Because I need to remember that, because, you know, channel's been doing good, and I do need to keep myself in check to not let it get to my head that the channel's growing. It's not because I'm, like, the greatest thing ever. It's just that finally, I think a lot of it has to do with Mr. Miles' fine work with the editing, and just happened to hit the algorithm right so that people that appreciate that type of content are seeing it. So I'm really excited. For those of you that don't realize it, so last Thursday, you know, obviously I was very excited that we hit 10,000 subs, but now we're pushing 11.5. So it's just like, it's exponentially growing, which is really nice to see. You know, makes me and Mr. Miles think, hey, maybe we will actually be able to make a living at this eventually. So that's just the coolest thing ever. But Resolute Germ was first in the chat. Welcome. Says, hi. Commander Sutter was second, saying first. Mr. Miles was third, saying true first. And, of course, Mr. Miles is true first around here. Josh says, all hail the silver turd. Thank you, Josh. And, yes, the turd is silver because I hit 10,000. The turd will turn gold when I hit probably like 50,000, I think. Mark Andy says, hi. Indy Tiger is present. Good to see you. Mike Richards is here from Columbus, Ohio, as always. Mr. Miles points out that Resolute Germ and Commander Sutter are fake news. True. Commander Sutter says, no, my ears. I love men. Wow, that's interesting. Commander Shran is in the house. Good to see you, Shran, and says hello. John DeMarco says greetings. Mike Andy says hail and krapla to the chat. How you doing, Mark? Darth Revan is here all the way from across the ocean. Says, Antrick, I saw this guy who really looks like you. I think he was on the Rational Roundtable. You might know him. Hofford Crawford. Rational Roundtable? Nah, I don't know. Sounds like it's one of those little channels, right? It's only like 2,500 subs. Doesn't mean anything to me. And let me see. Oh, I think, is the Streamlabs alert box on? Because I see that Thomas put a super chat in. I want to make sure that the alert box is turned on because I don't want that to get missed. Thank you, Thomas. Puts Buck99 Queen, Mrs. Antitricker, always first, even if not here. Very true. Mrs. Antitricker will always be first in my mind and my heart. And number 19. Whoops, helps if I hit the right button. There it is.
Presenting the newest incarnation of the Joker.
What are you talking about? That's not the Joker. That's just some guy.
Oh, right. Sorry. This is the new incarnation of the Joker.
Oh, great. That is
goodness, it's Ronald McDonald's disembodied head.
Yes. And it's funny because that one I do think was really funny when we first set it up, but then obviously what nobody was expecting, least of all me, was that the Joker movie was going to be so freaking awesome. And so, but I still like that one. And so thank you, Thomas. I truly appreciate it. And let's see. Resolute says employees and their families are not eligible for first, Mr. Miles. Actually, no. We do things a little differently around here at Crappy Productions, where employees and their families are eligible. And so, yeah, that's just the way we do things a little differently around these parts. Valor says, hi, came over as soon as I got the notification. Well, welcome. Just got started, so I guess the notification went out promptly, which is rare, but awesome. Iron Wolf says, hi. David Hensley says, the opener is frightening. Yes, Bird of Prey is quite the singer. And Dr. Alex is here, says, evening, Anti-Trekker. Notice it still says Alex Leeds, not Dr. Alex in the opening titles. Oh, well, you know what? Change your username, jerk. But yeah. Darth Red says, here's to the road to 20K. Absolutely. And me and Miles have actually been talking about, we're going to try to do, we're taking it a little easy this week. Not going to be putting out a lot of stuff this week because the holiday and everything. But for December, we're making plans to just cram out everything we possibly can to get the channel moving in the right direction, or to continue it moving, I should say, in the right direction. Darren says, hola, not Spanish. I know you're not Spanish, and hola. And Bird O' Prey is in the house, says Kapla. How you doing, Bird? As always, good to see you.
But that's me saying it, not Darth Revan. I love men.
So, yeah, good to see you. Darth Revan says to Dr. Alex, hey, Doctor, Hope is not camped in the TARDIS. Hope you do well. Okay. Mr. Miles says the Borg origin theory is just about 4,000 shy, being 100,000 views. Yeah, absolutely freaking incredible. I'm absolutely blown away by that. I really, really am. Dude named Clem says, don't forget us when you hit 100K. Never, my friend. You guys are the reason I'm even here, you know? So don't think for a minute that I'm going to suddenly forget about you guys just because there's more subscribers. I mean, some of you guys that have been with me from the beginning, even some people that aren't here regularly, and even some people that I'm in a pain in the ass from time to time, like Captain Redneck and stuff. Why would I forget about the fact that you guys are the ones that help me get things going, right? And so I know it's difficult when the larger the channel gets to stay personal. Like, I won't, if we get to 100,000 people, obviously I'm not going to know the names of all 100,000 subscribers. But those of you that have been in the chat every day, week in and week out, how could I possibly forget you guys? Darren says, when you hit 100K, you should have a latinum turd, perhaps an adamantium turd. Yeah, I'll have to try and figure out a way to make that happen. And there's Thomas's $1.99. Thank you again, Thomas. I do truly appreciate it. And Dr. Alex is smiling at Darth Raven in a kind of creepy English way. Yeah, because Dr. Alex is kind of creepy. So the turd will turn gold to 50K, subs of 1 million, whichever comes first. Yes! Well, if I get the 1 million, I'll get a real gold turd. That would be awesome. Actually, no, I wouldn't waste my money on that, but... Mr. Miles says, I'm my usual self, party crazy, partly sane. Party crazy, partly sane. Okay. Thomas likes the old avatar better. Well, I understand that, and I changed it to the silver avatar for a couple of reasons. One, yes, to kind of show, hey, we actually hit 10,000 subs. Now, the avatar in my videos is not changing. While I did use the silver avatar in my Why I'm Called Anti-Trekker, that's not going to be the regular avatar in the videos. That's just the avatar for the channel. But I changed it for two reasons. So one is because I hit 10,000 subs to just kind of demark that. The other, however, is because of the fact, and Nerdrotic reiterated this last week, is that the turd emoji showing up on the channel, like if you see one of my videos suggested and you see that turd, people get turned off by that because they, you're so until they hear the content and they understand what it's really all about, some people just get, all worked up about that because they have no sense of humor. Mark says, Rational Roundtable sounds like plebes. Yeah, I don't know who that loser is. Jeff says, Antrick, thank you so much for the biggest belly laugh I've had in a whole long time. Well, you're welcome, but I'm not sure what I did that was so funny, unless it was just listening to Bird of Prey talking about how much he loves men. Darth Red says, how are you doing other than the leg? I hope you're getting back to yourself. Well, I'm actually in a fairly decent mood right now. Mainly, and it's funny because, yeah, the leg still hurts. It's a yellow turd right now, but that's just because the pain meds are kicked in. But I'm in a decent mood because I've been fighting my employer and the insurance company for, day in and day out. I've been spending hours on the phone with these people, and HR finally said, okay, we're going to listen to what your doctor said and not fight you over being off work for the next couple of weeks. So I'm like, finally. And so that's, that takes a little bit of stress off of my shoulders there. Let's see, nepotism Uber alias. I'm not sure what the Uber alias part means. So, yeah, you lost me. Thomas says, you want me to remind you of something you might try to do this week? Indeed, Wednesday, Thomas. Wednesday. That will be the day. Why does YouTube say why does YouTube say was posted 2 days ago? I assume you mean this. Don't know. YouTube does some weird things right now. Dr. Alex says, I changed my username months ago at your suggestion. Yeah, you changed your YouTube username. You didn't change your username on is it Patreon or antitracker.com that you subscribe through, whichever. That's where you need to change, because I just go by the list of the usernames there, and that's how I create the credits. I'll try to remember the next time I do an update, which probably won't be too long, because there's a couple of people I need to add in just since I did that update. Don't forget, people, smash the like button, share via socials, donate if you can, join the Patreon, turn the mic and camera on before streaming, and down with Rock Solid Productions. Terrible of you to say that, Gary. You know what? I saw that Joshua's working on that little project for you. So, Rock Solid Productions better not go anywhere, because that's going to be an awesome little animation. So Eric says, yes, we are at Yellow Turd because I actually have some pain meds in me that are making the pain tolerable. I just realized, holy crap, the anti's sitting right here, and I forgot to turn on the anti-cam. Hold on. No, that's not it. That's not, whoa, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Anti-cam is now on. I need to set up a little hotkey for the anti-cam. And Mr. Rouse says, let me correct Antrick, we'll not cram out everything we can. We will, however, spend as much time as we can on producing those lore videos. Yes. Well, when I say cram out everything we can, I don't make it sound like, oh yeah, we're going to put out a bunch of junk. I get why, yeah, I could have said that a little more eloquently. And Mr. Rouse says, so you're saying we make Anti-Trekker go? Indeed, you do. Todd says, speaking of Bird, where is all the footage of his epic deaths at his underground base? I have the footage you sent me. I need to get a compilation of that together. And I'm sorry, Thomas, that I have been so neglectful of my fine friends at Turdistan. I don't know how the war has been going because of all the craziness with the channel, plus dealing with the doctors and HR and all that. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of time to be able to hang out with you guys this week, because it has been nuts around here these last few days. Isaiah Amos, I don't remember seeing you before, so welcome, and says, holy crap, your studio is a bridge. Well, I wish. This is just a green screen, but it sure does look nice, right? I would love, if I was ever YouTube rich, I would love to build a room that looked like this, but actually I wouldn't spend that kind of money on it, because, wow, as cool as it would be, that would be crazy. And let's see. Darth Ren says, Miles deserves a wrench. Miles has the best wrench of them all. Ensign Ricky is in the house, says, congrats on 10K. Thank you, Ensign Ricky. Haven't seen you. Well, you were in like a few days ago, but then before that, you've been missing in action a little bit. Hope you're doing well. With all the craziness around here, I haven't seen what you've been doing on your channel, but if it's as good as the stuff that you've been doing, man, you're going to probably pass me up before too awful long. So I hope you're still producing content, Ensign Ricky, because your stuff is better than mine, I hate to admit. Well, actually, although I'll say this, with Miles editing, maybe not. MC says, good evening, how you doing, my friend? Richie Poole says, you're just so totally awesome. I really am. but I need to make sure that that doesn't go to my head. And let's see. Isaiah says, I was hoping the name When Your Children if we get the 20,000. Not sure what you mean. But yeah, you don't get the name When Your Children. I think there's something either autocorrected something or I'm not sure, Isaiah. So maybe you could clarify that. Darth Revan says at 20K you should miss an checker face reveal and it's lore reloaded and say I use a voice changer and puts a mic covering his mouth and Mrs. Checker off screen speaks. That would be hilarious. But honestly, I've been talking to Mrs. Checker about because it's growing so quickly. If we hit 20,000 quickly, before I have to go back to work. Then I'm probably going to get like a tattoo at 20,000, and I have something, and then something else at 30, 40, 50, etc. Because eventually, I know some people don't care about tattoos. This arm only has a couple of tattoos on it, and so one of them is the tick. And I was going to make a sleeve out of this arm of nothing but nerd stuff, and when we hit 100,000 subs, I'll actually put my turd avatar on there. Maybe Joshua can make an avatar of your actual face. Well, that would be boring. I don't know. Jeff says, I've been watching your Borg series. At the ending of part 5, I Borg part 1 gave me the biggest belly laugh. Oh, okay. How did I end that one? I'm trying to remember. I that was so long ago. I can't even remember how I ended it. Darth Revan says, then you cry and say, I'm so alone. Uber overall, nepotism overall. Okay, thank you, Gary. You see, I don't speak German, obviously. I think that's German because I know Uber is German, so I'm assuming that's German. I hope you don't mind me asking you, but are you still thinking about doing a response to Lore's NX video? I bet it would be awesome. I am thinking about it. I have a couple other things that have priority over it. Mr. Miles is working on a video right now that involves a brief history of the Klingon Empire. And then I'm also got a couple of things that I've promised to certain people that I'm working on. One of them I'm hoping to get out on Thanksgiving Day, and so there's some stuff coming, and that is, I mean, responding to Lore I think will be fun, because yeah, his NX video was awful. Gary says, did Joshua tell you what his compensation is? He did, and holy crap, I'm jealous. I wanted one of those when they first came out. But I ended up getting a PlayStation. Dr. Access Checker, I did on the website ages ago too, the specific how it would be known setting. Oh, okay, I'll have to check. Maybe I just missed it. And in which case, I'm sorry, Dr. Alex. I will fix it. Eventually. Since now you're a silver turd, are you now the Herald of Galactus? Yes. The silver turd crapping across the universe. And Dr. Alex is telling Mr. Miles to check Discord. Well, that's good, as long as you're not telling me. I don't think many players on Space Engineers lately, and rumors are going around that Turdistan president is in a mental asylum. Don't know who started that rumor. I have a feeling it was you, jerk. But as long as people are enjoying the server, I don't care if we have 5 people or 50 people playing. I'll leave it going as long as I don't have a pressing need for that computer to do anything else. And I am sorry I don't get to play that often, but if the channel is continuing to grow, I got to put my focus on that, and I know you understand that, Thomas. The first short treks are the season 2, are on the season 2 Discovery Blu-rays. Well, if you want them, there they go. Commander says, what alien race is the most interesting in all of Trek? I may suggest an addendum to your Borg theory. They began, like you say, but then evolved and become tribbles and consume all. We are actually working on a Borg Part 2, and so that's another one that's coming in a couple of weeks. That will get into the origin of the Queen and stuff. And Isaiah says, I apologize to use the microphone. Don't apologize. It's no big deal. Just if it comes out weird like that, I just need you to straighten it out because I'm not sure what you meant. Anyway, as far as the most interesting race in Trek, it's tough because there's a lot of interesting races in Trek. I'm going to say the Vulcans / Romulans. And I'm saying it that way because they are, in fact, the same species. They just identify differently. John DeMarco says, I think the most interesting race is Cardassians. Well, I don't, but that's all right. Darren says, wasn't Lore's NX-01 video concerning the ship as it is in Star Trek Online, not the show, or am I mistaken? Well, he's done 2 videos on the NX. He's been kind of rehashing ships for the Star Trek Online, but, you know, his thing about the NX-01 that really bugged me is he's like, he made this whole thing mocking the ship because it was woefully underpowered compared to other races at the time. And it's like, yeah, they didn't know. You know, that's like, you know, faulting someone for not knowing something they couldn't have possibly known is kind of silly. And Gary says, correct, Uber Alice is Deutsch. Deutsch, is that how you say it? Yes, I know you're dyslexic, so me using both languages is extra confusing. It is, you jerk. Robert Harvey says, really enjoyed the Borg Origin Theory. Please keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Robert. And yes, part 2 of the Borg is coming soon. Right now, Miles is, like I said, working on a Klingon video. What we're trying to do is kind of break things up a little bit so we're not doing the same thing over and over and over. But yeah. But thank you. I really, really love the way that video came out. And obviously the numbers show that a lot of you guys really appreciate it. Darren says, I finally got my 1701 XL Eagle Moss today. It's one of the very best ones I've seen. Very cool. You'll have to do a review of it on your channel if you haven't already. Sci-Fi Nation says, greetings. How you doing, my friend? Mr. Mouse says, actually, maybe we could move the Lore Reloaded response up a bit. That could be fun. And you know, Lore doesn't get 100,000 views on a video, so we should be able to help the smaller guys out. True. We'll tell Lore, yeah, we're doing you a favor there, buddy. My friend calls her, let's see. My friend calls her laptop a fap top. Okay. Well, they can be used for that depending on you. Well, I tell you, Trigger, I'm also working on trying to score you guys an NES, SNES, Genesis, HDMI clone system, working with a friend of mine in addition to what Joshua is getting. Well, very cool. You don't have to, Gary, but I know Joshua is going to go bananas when he gets that thing because he does love older games. And Trigger for Congress 2020. No, thank you. Here's the problem. If I were in Congress, I would have to punch somebody in the face. So I would just go to jail. Let's see. Did you hear Rise of Soy Walker? You guys getting mean. Script leaked on eBay and Disney bought it back. I did not hear about that. Although that would be funny if true. Oh, and don't tell him, but I'm also trying to score him a box set of all 3 Sonics. Wow, very cool. Well, I will not tell him about that. Richie says, I'm partial to the Orion Slave Girls as Trek's most interesting race. Well, I do think the Orion Slave Girls are interesting, but not as a, not like a, that's very interesting, and I'm curious about that, and I want to research. No, it's like, yeah, interesting. Mercer says, I got to see your debate with, is that Mr. Burnett, or is that someone else? But if that's Mr. Burnett, it was a lot of fun. If it's somebody else, I'm not sure who you're talking about. Requesting permission to destroy Lore's anti-NX video in a video of my own, Commodore. You absolutely can. Darren, you absolutely can. And if you do a good job with it, when I do a response, I will reference your video to hopefully drive a little bit more traffic your way. Mert says, glad you're doing better. You seem like yourself. Just got a new computer. Well, that's cool. You got a new computer. And yes, I feel like an enormous weight has been taken off my shoulders today because HR has finally conceded that, yes, we're acknowledging that, you're off work for a legitimate reason after talking to my freaking surgeon. The newest NX video, he brought up events from Enterprise, therefore he's talking about more than just the ship. Yeah, I know, that's the thing. He does, he's talking about this Star Trek Online stuff, but then he starts referring back to stuff that's on the show. And so it's like, well, is this a Star Trek Online video, or is this a Enterprise video? Jeff says, at the end of the Borg Series Part 5, you went on a rant about the writers taking the most fierce enemy ever of the board, turning into an innocent, cute child. Oh, okay, yes. I hated that about that because, Borg, well, conceptually it's an interesting idea, but the fact that they take this cute little guy and I'm the Borg, and it's like, you just ruined it. That's where the Borg were broken. I know a lot of people say the Borg were broken with the Queen. No, Borg is where the Borg were broken. However, the Queen made it worse. You want to, if you went on to break your computer, a fire starts and smoke alarm goes off, sirens are heard, you're wanting things to burn and more and break, and you will be going after lore. Mercer says, I'm happy you got 10,000 subs. I'm happy for you. Thank you, Mercer. I'm thrilled. I know Mr. Miles is thrilled, and the performance of our last couple of videos has just been phenomenal. So, which will be nice for both of us because it means that for Christmas, we'll have a little bit of money in our pocket. The Romulans and Vulcans kind of remind me of the Dark Crystal Skeksis and the Oru. Yeah, you know, in a way. I agree with you, Isaiah. This is my favorite channel. Thank you, Mercer. It's mine, too, coincidentally. And Darth Vader says, rumors are they're going to streamline the canon of DC movies using Black Adam. Well, I think they just need to do a full-on reboot at this point. DC is an absolute freaking mess, and they just need to start over. Laura also called the Constitution Clause a prestigious tomb. Yeah, I know. Lore. Gary says, I know I don't have to, and trigger not have to. Gotcha. I'm going to start bugging you to adjust your camera and the green screen settings. Well, yeah, I know. I need to spend some time doing that, but I just haven't had a chance. And actually, the problem is I need to get the lights arranged properly. I have 2 lights. I really need 3. And they're not quite adjusted correctly, and that's part of the reason you see so much of the green bleed. But it's one of those things that I can't move the lights around until I can walk around better. Thomas says, don't worry about us playing engineers. Even if Kuroga wins, we're still up 3-1. Awesome. That's true. Don't the Romulans have an extra finger bone? If they do, I don't remember that one. Zachary says, hey, Trigger, there's always good movies to watch during the holidays. My question is, which Star Trek movie would be the best watch for the holidays? Star Trek 4. Even the theme song, it was actually, I believe it was released as a holiday film, and the theme song sounds very holiday-ish. So I would say Star Trek 4, best holiday Trek film. But I would just watch all of the good ones. U.S. Navy was made fun of at one time in the late 18th century too, spurred the Navy to build the White Fleet and go him world tour. Okay, did not know that. If you were in Congress, you would be the crappiest politician. Very, very true. Now, Mr. Miles says, this is mostly because of Shran from Enterprise, but I'd love to explore the Andorian culture more. Yeah, the problem with the Andorian culture is that outside of Enterprise, there's like nothing. That's the big problem there, is that, like, if we were to do a series on the Andorian culture, it would just be, let's talk about Shran. Darth Vader says, the script thing is true. JJ confirmed that they said it was found under a star's bed in his house by a cleaner. Oh, wow. That's interesting, but if they got it back, then hopefully it didn't leak. I know people are all like, oh, hey, here are the latest leak and all that, and some people flock to those leak videos. I don't want to know the story ahead of time. My Eagle Moss Earth space dock is coming in the mail soon. Oh, wow, I didn't know they were doing an Earth space dock. That's a cool one. Trek reviewers, what if you go to Congress, you can go after Google and do nothing else during your term and get paid for it? That's true. I would, that would be good. And Isaiah says, the extra finger bone makes the Romulans better at sports. Okay. Is there actually a canonical reference to the Romulans having an extra finger bone? I don't remember that. If so, it's kind of silly because there's no way that the Romulans evolved an extra bone in the short amount of time that they were separated from the Vulcans. And now, of course, Auntie is hiding behind her bed so that you can't see her. Zachary says, Antrick for President of the United States of America, vote Antricker 2020. Oh, no thank you. No freaking thank you. Nice here you're getting a break for once. Thought about best Star Trek novels and comics. Hope you had the chance to finish Hell's Reach. Get well. Thank you for the $5, Jaeger. I truly appreciate it. And I don't know what's going on with the alert box. It shows that it's on. And so, let's see, there's Jeremy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the alert box. I think let's try that. So hopefully it'll work now. Let me try something here. Bear with me, guys. I'll do a test. Where's the test button? Alert box. And we'll test.
Hello,
There we go.
world.
Okay, so it's working. And no, I did not just super chat $80. I just hit the test button, and it sends the message as if I super chatted $80. But Jaeger, I haven't watched the rest of Hell's Reach yet. It's something I do plan on doing now that the stress is a little lower. And the as far as Star Trek novels and comics, the absolute best Star Trek novel, well, there's a couple of really good ones. If you want old school, I would say there's the classic Star Trek novel, Spock Must Die. That's a really good one. There's also the Klingon Gambit, which was an old school Star Trek novel. Also, for Next Gen, if you like the Next Gen, hey, there we go. Now it's actually working. And Sci-Fi Nation puts a couple of bucks in this for missing yesterday's stream. Wants number 15. You got it. So I'll get it in just a second. Let me finish this thought, though. Vendetta is a next-gen novel that's basically a follow-up to Best of Both Worlds. It's what Star Trek First Contact should have been. Vendetta is freaking awesome. I absolutely love that one. As far as comics, they're kind of hit and miss. So I honestly am not a big fan of too many of the Star Trek comics. Anyway, let's get number 15 up here for Sci-Fi Nation.
Sir, we are being hailed. On screen. What is your problem?
I am Lore.
Do you need help?
I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Lore Reloaded.
Let me guess, the rubber band broke, right?
I make YouTube go.
There we go. Thank you so much, my friend. I do appreciate it. Richie says TNG broke the Borg long before Voyager came along. That's true. They broke him with iBorg, and of course then they crapped on him with Descent. By the time the Borg showed up in Voyager, that had already happened. But Voyager then, actually the ironic thing is they started to bring the Borg back in an interesting way with Scorpion. I thought Scorpion was actually really good. It was a return to form. And then they, yeah. From established race in Star Trek, from established race in Trek in a future Trek, who do you think should become the big bads? I think it should be Vulcan's supermassists who take over and lead the Federation and then do war. Well, that's what the Romulans are. Vulcan supremacists. Oh, that's I think what you meant. That's just the Romulans. Honestly, I want to see the Klingons be bad guys again. One of my least favorite things about the Klingons is that they're everybody's best friend in TNG, even though they shouldn't be. Gary says, I used to have a favorite channel, but the guy couldn't even hit 10,000 subs, so he's not very rock solid. Oh, stop, Gary. Stop beating up on yourself, my friend. 8,000 subs is a heck of an accomplishment, so do not sell yourself short on that. And think about it. I was struggling at like 8,000 subs up until just a couple of months ago. And then I just happened to get lucky. So that's why I want you to keep it up, Gary, because I think you do good stuff. And honestly, you just keep pushing it, and eventually you're gonna click. And it's just one of those things where you just got to hit the algorithm and you just get lucky one day. And that's what happened with me and Mr. Miles' triple timeline and the Borg videos. You need 5 lights, indeed. Zachary says, hey, Andrew, are you going to watch Crisis on Infinite Earths on CW? I don't want to. I really don't want to. I don't know that there's much demand for it. If a lot of people are like really begging for opinion on it, I might, but quite frankly, I'm not interested in it. Darth Vader says there are 4 lights. And Trek Reviewer saying, no, you need 4 lights. Well, actually, a proper lighting setup, you need a minimum of 3. But 4 would actually be a little bit better. But the problem is setting it up properly I'm going to have to rearrange a lot of stuff in this room that I'm just not physically capable of doing. And Commander Sutter says, what is the best Christmas movie? Is there Christmas episodes in Trek? Die Hard is best Christmas movie. Die Hard is a good Christmas movie for me, but our family, and I know this is kind of sick and twisted, but this is true. We have a little bit of a tradition going, is that we like to sit down and watch Krampus on Christmas. And so that's our Christmas movie. As far as Christmas episodes in Trek, no, not really. You know, they've not that I can think of. I don't think they've ever really done a true Christmas episode. But you know, Star Trek 4 is the most holiday-esque Trek movie. And I say it says, save the whales for Christmas. Absolutely. I remember being 11 and seeing Voyage Home in theaters on Thanksgiving. So much fun. Yes. Yeah, so I think it came out Thanksgiving, so it was and that was a holiday season release. That was before Christmas actually became a good time to release films. Darth Vader says, do you want to see Star Wars 9 go to the front garden and get gas pour on it in your trash can, then burn it, and then throw Auntie's poop into the fire? Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to say that until I see the movie. I want to see it, and I want it to be good. If it is absolute and total crap, then yes, absolutely, I will buy a DVD of it and pour gas on it and throw Auntie's poop onto it. Absolutely. That actually would probably be a part of my review for it. But if it's good, I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm not, you know, just like I've said that, you know, I've been honest about my opinions on The Mandalorian. I've been honest on my opinions on the Marvel movies. Yes, even when it cost me subs to say that I didn't think Captain Marvel was a horrible movie. I just thought Captain Marvel was bad in it. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's who I am. Mercer says, Nermal loves the channel. Well, I love Nermal. Nermal is a cute little cat. Eagle Moss did Star Trek Earth Space Dock a while ago. I did not know that. And Jaeger wants to know, can I see Disco die? You can always see Disco die. I think we all want to see Disco die. Yes, the classic of classics. Darren, and by the way, guys, just so you know, since I am a little behind in the chat, I'm just reading the ones that have at Anti-Trekker in it, so don't forget to include that if you want me to read your chat. Darren says, Star Trek comics have always sucked, in my opinion, with the exception of the covers of the Gold Key comics. I remember they drew the 17 Lows nacelles as rockets with fire. Yeah, that's something that I have somewhere buried away several of the old Gold Key Trek comics. And yeah, that's something that's always bugged me, is they draw the Enterprise with flames shooting out of the warp nacelles. The next big bad in Star Trek in my menu should be 8472. I don't think so. I say either come up with something new or use the classics. I want to see Klingons actually be bad. And Ryan Healy just subscribed. Thank you, Ryan. I don't know. I keep trying to turn off the subscription. I need to work on this. Figure this Streamlabs thing out. I suck at this. Maybe I should have Mr. Miles mess with it since he's better at this stuff than me. Would you agree that Lore Reloaded that Riker was the one responsible for the Enterprise destruction and should have been kicked out of Starfleet? Actually, Zachary, it's funny because I was thinking about I was going to do that response to the NX-01 video, and then I saw Lore's video about Riker, and honestly, now this is all. Let me say, you know, Lore and I are actually friends. He lives down the street from me. I know him personally in real life and all that. He's a great guy. So what I'm about to say metaphorically. I wanted to punch him in the face. But I wanted to see what Darren thought of it as well. I don't know if you've seen that video yet, Darren, but since you are actually a sailor, I would be very interested in seeing your opinion on Lore's thing. I think Lore is dead wrong about it. But Lore even, and see, I want to save it for the video, but I'll spoil it here anyway, because, you know, there's about 50 of you watching right now, so if I do the video, more than 50 will see it, so, but you'll know this little piece of information. One thing that really shows how bad Lore's reasoning is for that video is the simple fact that he talks about, and Mercer throws a couple of bucks in. Thank you so much. Friend drew TNG comic, 3 chance, 2 dream, 4 wild storm. That's cool. I didn't read that one, but that is cool. So you had a friend that actually drew that one? That's awesome. And now, wow, that's really cool. Maybe you should get together with Darren. Darren's published some comics. Anyway, the part of Laura's reasoning was, as far as problems with Riker's command performance in Generations, was that the Enterprise should have completely overpowered the bird of prey because of its massive amounts of weapons. However, in the same video, Lore mentions the fact that he considers the Galaxy-class starship a glass cannon, that if you can get past its shields, they're incredibly easy to take out. And the Klingons got past the shields. Or shields, as he says. So he negates his own argumentation, because according to Lore, if you can get past the shields of the Galaxy class, then yes, it's easy to take out. But then he gets mad at Riker for not defeating the ship when the ship got past their shields. He is also saying, oh, and I can't believe that the Bird of Prey shield stopped the weapons fire of the Galaxy class. Wrong answer, dude. It's not like just because the Bird of Prey is a smaller ship doesn't mean that its shields completely suck. Granted, in the Dominion War, all of a sudden ships became X-Wings and just blow up, but, this was before that. Anyway. But how would you set up the war after the Allies ship at Deep Space Nine? I don't know. I don't know how. Well, actually, I do know what, and I'm going to do that in my Picard video. I'm still working on a Picard video that I think you guys will like. Like Judge Smalls, I'm an incredible slouch. Well, you shouldn't be. Andrew, I hope you're well, says Carlo. Thank you, my friend. And Darth Maul says, damn, over 11,000 already. Yeah, it just blew me away. It's like we went, and you saw, we've had a couple of subscribers in just the last couple of minutes. That happened. If I don't turn off that alert thing, I hear that bring when a new subscriber comes in, because that plays out over my computer speakers. I hear that all the time now, which is awesome, but distracting. And let's see, you need to find a lazy editor and let him work his magic. Yeah, that's true, but not you. Darth Ren says, do you think there is a 10,000 mentality, like anyone under is crap and over is a good channel? No, I think some people think that. But, I mean, obviously, my channel isn't suddenly way better just because we're over 10,000. I think we've been improving the channel, and that's what pushed us over 10,000. But what some people have told me is that the YouTube algorithm isn't supposed to take into account necessarily how many subs you have, but it takes into account how many subs you have, which means that if you are a channel that has 10,000 subs, that's a major threshold. All of a sudden, you show up as a suggested video a lot more often than when you had 9,999. And that is absolute crap, but that's the way that they work it. And so it's easier. The problem is it's basic. It's just like how it says, oh, it's easy to make money if you have money. It's easy to get subs if you have subs. So that's why you see someone like Gary over at Nerdrotic or Doomcock, they hit a milestone like 100,000, and then all of a sudden they shoot up to 150, 200,000 because the algorithm sees, oh, big channel, let's suggest him a lot. Mr. Ross says, but in all seriousness, it seems 10,000 really matters. Once you hit it, it gets easier. Yes. And that's kind of what I was saying. Zachary says, for a moment, I thought I saw 5 lights. Yes. You got to be careful about that. My dad and I watched Twilight Zones on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. That's cool. And see, look, that's 4 subscribers now, just in the last couple of minutes. So, let me see. I wonder if, go to alert box. See, it says subscribers is checked, so let me uncheck that and see if that works. Because as much as I love seeing the little bring, it can get kind of distracting. So we'll see if we get any more subscribers after Ryan. Star Trek Generations had a Christmas scene. That's true. Star Trek Generations did have Picard experience Christmas, but I wouldn't call it a Christmas story per se. My family's tradition is to watch home videos and get in touch as members fast for, so far the movie's hit 4 hours this year. Wow. That's a lot of home videos. I have had to talk Anti-Trigger out of closing the channel at least 2 times. If he had, he never would have had the success he's enjoying now. That's very true. And yes, Gary, that is absolutely true. There were a couple of times just this year that I said, F it, I'm shutting her down. And Mr. Miles talked me into keeping the channel going. That is 100% true. Don't like to admit that, but yeah. Can you see episode 9 early so you can suffer and we can all know if it's safe for us? I wish I could, Thomas, but I am not a person that gets press passes to movies. So,
Hello,
and
world.
Mav Rocket put $5 in. Thank you so much. Says, congrats. Here's something at least 10,000 more by the end of the year. Always enjoy hearing your analysis. Good health and God bless. Thank you so much. And Mav Rocket, you know what? The funny thing is, I would say, come on, 20,000 by the end of the year, not possible. But we made 1,000 in the last few days. It's theoretically possible that we could hit 20,000 by the end of the year. If we do, that'll be just the most awesome thing. That'll be the best Christmas present ever. And so I hope that does happen. I'm not gonna like bank on it, but I would really like to see something like that happen. Anyway, Thomas, if I could see episode 9 early, I would, but I don't have a press pass. And let's see, Krampus movie on Christmas. Yeah, cool. I love My Culture Butchered. Well, it's not my culture, so I can watch Krampus and not feel bad about that. Isaiah says, so Mr. Miles, so the anti-tracker success is your success and to our benefit. Yes, so Mr. Miles does, in fact, get a healthy percentage of the money that the channel makes. And so when we get to a point that I'm making a living off of YouTube, Mr. Miles will be making a living off of YouTube as well. And that's what we want, because if we need to both be doing it full time for it to really, really crank out the good content. Because if just one of us is full time, then we end up with a bottleneck in our production. Carlo throws 10 pounds into the chat. Thank you. Says, sorry, it's late. Got a little extra for 10K. Thank you so much. And here's the 10K more. Absolutely, my friend. Thank you. I truly, truly appreciate it, Carlo. And let's see, Darth Maul, what do you think about Star Trek Picard bringing in the Odyssey class Enterprise F? STO had a competition to create it, and I think the guy is losing his excitement, his excrement who created it. I don't know. I don't care about the ship classes or any of that. If it looks nice, cool. But what I want is a good story. Everything else is secondary, Darth Maul. I want a good story. Didn't Q put Voyager in a Christmas tree one time, or was it Enterprise? Oh, I'm trying to. Well, Q never appeared on Enterprise, so it would have had to have been Voyager, but I don't remember. And I think Enterprise might have mentioned Christmas, but I'd have to go look. Let me see. I'll try to look it up real quick. Where is my script search? I have this great website that I use. So search for Christmas. Okay, so the term Christmas was used 17 times or 19 times in all of Trek. Dagger of the Mind, there was a flashback to a Christmas party, although it wasn't really a Christmas episode. Star Trek II, there was a mention, but that was just Scotty saying that the Energizer is bypassed like a Christmas tree. Star Trek Generations, we know, was the Nexus French living room flashback, which is several mentions of Christmas. Our man Bashir says, that one, Bashir says, I bought those for Anastasia last Christmas. Okay, so there's a mention of Christmas. Caretaker from Voyager, Tom Paris says, I'll tell you the truth, Harry. All I had to do was keep my mouth shut and I was home free, but I couldn't. The ghosts of those 3 dead officers came to me in the middle of the night and taught me the true meaning of Christmas. Death Wish on Voyager. Let's see. let's see a computer. I need a wider angle, and then they are in an ornament. Yeah, so that's the one where Q put them in a Christmas tree. The Swarm from Voyager. I'll say if anyone's sensors are concerned, it went lit up like a Christmas tree. The Omega Directive. It looks like, yeah, all these are just like oddball references to Christmas. In Regeneration, the Enterprise episode, they do say that the cybernetic circuits lit up like a Christmas tree. Night in sickbay, they said reciting the night before Christmas. So, yeah, there's not a lot of Christmas celebration going on. There's just like references to Christmas. So Christmas is still an active holiday. We do know that. Dominic wants to know favorite captain. Kirk. No question. Darren says, and thank you again, Mercer, for the $2 super chat. I do appreciate it. Darren says, which lore video do you want me to sit through now? It was a video where it's called like On Trial. Riker is Riker at fault for destroying the Enterprise D. And there's Mercer talking about the pre-chance to dream. That is really cool. You should, if you have a copy of that comic, have them sign it. Darth Vader says, in Mandalorian, I would show a person on a walking stick walk out to save Mandalorian and yodeling. Then his stick explodes into a lightsaber and is revealed to be a Jedi or a son of one. Well, I don't care. I don't want to see a Jedi in it because there are no, the only Jedi known to exist at the time of the Mandalorian is Luke. And I don't think we're going to get a de-aged Mark Hamill in the show. But I would like to see a Sith. Jaeger, technically Picard, Riker, and whoever the command master chief will all probably face court-martial. Triad always takes the blame. Except that I don't think so. I think that the destruction of the Enterprise was a foregone conclusion as soon as... and the funny thing is, Lore, in the video, Lore shows that the first hit that the Klingons score on the Enterprise is right smack dab in the engine room, and then there's a warp core breach. A hit against an unshielded Galaxy class in the engineering section, and then a minute later is a warp core breach. Yeah. You mentioned that Star Trek 4 being the best Christmas Star Trek movie. I had to go listen to the theme again. I always thought the music sounded Christmassy. Yeah, it's very Christmassy. That ding, 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 ding. It sounds very Christmassy. Jeff says, you're the only person I've ever heard say that. I'm not sure say what, but okay. Mr. Cat says, 11K already, yes. Amazing. I haven't published comics, but I used to be a magazine author from 2003 to 2013. I didn't know that. Very cool. Did you choose your house to move closer to Lore? No, actually, I moved. It's funny because Lore lived in a town called Shelbyville, which is near here. I live in Murfreesboro. I bought a house in Murfreesboro, but then shortly after, Lore and his family moved to Murfreesboro because it's a nicer area. Thomas says, Lore can't be wrong. Remember Transwarp? That's true. That's very true. Resolute says, Lore owns self again. Yes. Lore is very good at that. Good old-fashioned Lore video correction. Nice. Shields, tourists. Yes, we haven't done shields and tourists in a while. I have new subscribe notification all the time. Yeah. So hashtag humble brag, LOL. Well, no, it's, I know, Gary, it's like, I'm excited about it. I truly am. And don't take it as false humility. I mean, I am genuinely excited about the growth of the channel. But it can be kind of annoying if I'm doing a live stream and it keeps going bring, bring, bring. Even though it's awesome to see. And by the way, let me check to see. So did we get any new subscribers since I tried to adjust it? It doesn't show. It looks like the last new subscriber was 10 minutes ago. So I don't know if I fixed it or not. Darth Maul, by losing his excrement, it's in a good way. Never thought he would see screen time. Well, I understand, but I don't care about the ship as much as I care about the story. Valor says, if SF updated and upgraded the Miranda class with all the most advanced technology, couldn't that keep the ship as a valuable asset? Sure. I assume SF, you mean Starfleet. But they could say the same thing about the Connie. The Connie, I think the biggest crime in Star Trek The Next Generation era shows is that we never saw a Constitution class in action. Yes, I know people say, well, we saw the broken hull of a Constitution class at the Battle of Wolf 359. Yes, but we didn't see the actual Connies in action, and we should have. And there's Mav Rocket's $5. Thanks again, Mav Rocket. I truly appreciate it. Every dollar helps, and I absolutely mean that. And so, but I always tell people also don't give if you can't afford to. Darren says, I remember seeing Star Trek 6 in theaters during the Christmas season. I couldn't remember when Star Trek 6 came out, but Star Trek, I believe, was traditionally a winter release. I think it just works better that way overall. And that's just regular old texting. I'll get to that later. And there's Carlos, 10 euros. Again, thank you, my friend. And hey, don't apologize for being any. You know what? Never apologize for super chatting anyone. Okay, because you know what? It doesn't matter if it's me or Nerdrotic or frickin' PewDiePie. The last thing you should ever say in a super chat is sorry because you know you're giving me money. So 57 watching, 3 likes. Really? I'm showing 54 likes and 65 watching, so I think that maybe there was a problem with the updating. I'm going to leave for a few minutes and watch one of those lore video travesties. All right, Darren, I'll probably be here when you get back. I'm going to be here for at least a little bit longer because I'm still behind in the chat. At 20k subs, Mrs. Antrager must wave on camera and we see her hand. I can make that happen. Which Enterprise engineering room is worse, JJ's or TSD? Assuming SD. Are you talking about the recent short trek? Ask not. If that's the question, JJ's is worse because JJ's literally looks like a Budweiser factory, which is what it is, a brewery. At least while the one that we saw in Ask Not is horrible, it's a travesty. But at least it looks like an engine room, kind of. It just doesn't look like a Star Trek engine room. Let's see. Darth Vader says, this is my first Christmas with a Jack Russell Beagle mix. He ate through my vacuum cleaner wire while getting him the sniff, so I guess it's fair. Oh, man. But you got cute dogs, Darth. Didn't an episode of TOS mention Christmas? Yes. We already talked about it. The one where Dagger in the Mind had a brain cramp. They talk about a Christmas party. And Merce says yes. In Regeneration Trip did say that the circuits lit up like a Christmas tree. King of the Void says it was a TNG episode. I'm so far behind that if you say it was or something like that, you got to tell me what it is because I'm not sure what we're talking about there because I'm too far behind. Darth Maul says, speaking of Christmas, can we get some mistletoe for me and 7 of 9? Sure. Kick44 says, nice background. Congratulations on 10K. Thank you. I do love this background. It is my favorite that I've done so far. Although I'm thinking about, I'm going to make it so that the lights blink and stuff like that just for fun. That'll take some work, but it's definitely doable. I want to animate this whole bridge because I'm going to probably keep this as my background from now on because I love this picture. And I love the fact I'm sitting at the engineering section. Actually, technically, I think the picture looks like it's supposed to be taken from the turbo lift, but I'm saying I'm sitting in the engine section. Back to the chat. Indie Tiger says they had to destroy the ED in Generations, the ED, so that they could get the Enterprise E. Yeah, I know. But that's just the writing reason. But the thing about the lore video was he was trying to say that Riker completely screwed the pooch. Agreed there's being a good story for Picard without it, everything else is shameless fan service and money grab. Yeah, if it's a good story and they bring in the Enterprise F, awesome. If it's crap story, bring in the Enterprise F is not going to save it. And Gary wants to know, who's this Rock Solid Productions interloper? Well, it's you. Daniels, Hot Tops in the house. Hello, it's Monday, November 25th, 2019. Oh, no, looks like I couldn't make the subscription thing go away. That's weird. I got to figure that out because I turned it off in Streamlabs, so I don't know. Anyway, just got back from KFC. How are you today? I'm okay, Daniels. I'm actually in a fairly good mood because making some progress dealing with human resources and stuff at work. Gary says, I've actually interviewed Tony Stewart a few times. Super nice guy. Well, very cool. See, you've done stuff like that. I haven't had any, like, real important people on my channel. So, yeah. Jedi who exist are Ahsoka, Ezra, Countess, Force, Babies, Prisoner, Jedi under Empire, Darksiders, Darth Maul, and the... well, I thought Darth Maul died in one of the animated shows. The Inquisitors, few dark Jedi dotted around. Luke was far, far from being alone. Well, here's the thing, Darth Revan. I'm talking. You're bringing in all the lore there. The problem is most people don't know that stuff, including myself. I'm watching a little bit of Clone Wars, but Ahsoka is the only one that you mentioned that I know. Ezra, I only know because I know that that's like the main character from Rebels, if I remember correctly. But I haven't watched Rebels yet. So. At any rate, maybe that's where Brie Larson will play Ahsoka in the series. I think what that person who remembered the Q putting the Enterprise in the Christmas tree might have been thinking of the OST episode where the villain had a miniature of the Enterprise. No, there actually is a when I was looking at the Star Trek script search, the episode was, let me bring where was it? Voyager. Where is it? Mega Directive, Survival Instinct, Surf Folk, Swamp, Death Wish. The episode was called Death Wish, and it says Chakotay, or Paris says checking. We seem to be tethered to some kind of large plant. Janeway says, let's see a computer. I need a wider angle. And this is annotation. They are an ornament on a Christmas tree. And then Q says, you can't hide from me. And then Quinn, who's the baby Q, says, and you can't take me by force. I'll stalemate you for eternity if I have to. Darth Ren says, Darth Maul actually died. Scrap that. Okay, that's what I thought. But I wasn't sure. Valor says, I was wrong about the bone. It was the Romulans was closely related to the Klingons blood-wise. I think it was mentioned when Worf refused to give blood. Yeah, well, that was weird that they have a common enzyme in their blood that, like, Worf was the only one that could save the Romulan. I thought that was kind of stupid. And let's see, what's this? I have no idea. Why am I getting that? Oh, that's just a thing from our church. Just making sure that there wasn't anything important. All right. And let me see. That's the... All right, back to it. All right, apparently Chris Pine is back and Star Trek 4 is back on. We'll see. But you know what? I don't care. Darth Vader says, favorite badge? As far as, like, the badge on the uniform? I actually, and I know some people are going to say it's sacrilege, I really, really like the Section 31 badge from Discovery. Even though it makes no sense canonically, I think that is a really nice looking badge. That's the that's the one thing from Discovery that I would consider buying a replica of, is that Section 31 badge. And John Smith put $2 in. Thank you so much. Says, what are your top 5 PC Star Trek games? I don't think I even, I played the Star Trek 25th anniversary game. I really enjoyed that. And yes, I was like on a 286 back in the day. Star Trek Armada and Armada 2 really liked. See, Star Trek Online, honestly, I like the Starship combat, but I think the ground and pound stuff sucks. And I'm trying to think of another good Star Trek game at all. I mean, there haven't been that many. I mean, the Voyager first-person shooter was all right. I like that one. Elite Force, I think it was called. So there you go. However, honestly, Star Trek games, not a great record to me. I think and it seems like you should be able to do something so good. I know there's some new stuff that I haven't played, but you should be able to make a Starship Command game where that should be awesome. And by the way, the absolute best Star Trek game I ever played was on a teletype in the 1970s, an online game that was so much fun, and you actually had to do math. But most of you guys are probably just scratching your heads going, what's a teletype? Unless you watch my recent stream about it. Roxaw says, don't worry, I added a thumbs down. Thank you so much, Rock. Okay, just watched Laura's Asinine Riker video. That video was crap. Now I got crap in my ears. Thanks a lot, Anti-Checker. Well, I'm glad you agree with me, Darren. I believe the Connie ship's space frame has not handled new warp scale, and that's why it's decommissioned in Star Trek 6. No, it wasn't that they were decommissioning the Connie. They were decommissioning the Enterprise because it was an old and banged up ship. And if the space frame in the Constitution class couldn't handle it, then the Excelsior class shouldn't have been able to last either. Is Rational Roundtable sub to the Anti-Trekker channel? If not, you can test it. Well, I got a couple of subs, and unfortunately, it still seems to be coming through. I don't know what I can do. I got to figure it out, because I thought I turned it off, but Streamlabs is just being petty right now. Surf says, wow, 2,000 more turds. Yeah, it's crazy. And there goes the chat. Sorry. Okay. Darren says, the engine room of JJ's films are one of the only things I actually liked about them. They actually look like a spaceship engine room to me. Well, maybe because that particular brewery, the Budweiser brewery where they filmed those scenes, happens to be right near where I lived at the time. And I've seen the interior of that brewery before I saw the movie. So to me, it was like, it's a freaking brewery. The bridge is going to be animated. Shouldn't the host be as well? Wow, that's just mean. The lights blinking on the bridge might be too distracting from you. Wait, that might be a good thing. Well, I'm not going to make everything go crazy and lens flares. It's not going to be freaking... Man, what is going on with my phone tonight? I hate it when people are texting me. Let's see. Let's see. All right. I hate it when people text me while I'm live streaming, but then not everybody that I know knows the times I live stream. I always wondered why the turbolift was at the angle from the back of the captain's chair. Yeah, that never made much sense to me, but I think they did it just for set design. Wesley's in the house. What did I miss? Well, we said shut up, Wesley, about 5,000 times. Track 95 says, have I missed much? Not a whole lot, well, except for, the whole show. Darth Vader says, you could have had the Enterprise D divert warp power to the weapons, then the warp core goes critical, and then as Picard is being beamed up to the planet, it begins to explode, and they are rescued by the flotilla at the end. Yeah, but I'm not sure what your point about that is. Darth Maul says, if you update your bridge graphic, would you be able to sync up the turd color to the alert level? Red alert, red turd alert, red light blinks. Yeah, that would be possible. Yeah, because on you can see there's the red alert window thing, and I would probably I would probably make it so that I can make that blink in red, yellow, or green. Oh my goodness, please stop texting me. Okay. All right, and okay, that's and Bird of Prey just texted me saying, "Are you streaming?" All right, so thanks, Bird. All right, where was I? John Smith, what do you? I already read that because I'm so far behind. Springtime says, "How's it going?" Not too bad, my friend. How's it up in Alaska? You guys getting frozen over yet? And Rock Solid puts $2 more into the chat. Thank you so much, Rock Solid. I do appreciate it. It says, who does number 2 work for? Well, let's find out.
I'm a better female character than you.
You would be if you didn't spend all your time with that temper tantrum meme guy.
At least I'm not the one on a show with a questionable acronym.
Take it back.
No,
Yes.
Oops. Sorry to bother you.
Alright, Springtime says, I already read that. Good to see you, my friend. Mr. Cap says, did you hear Mark Hamill told a fan on Twitter to wait for episode 9 to be on cable? He later said he was joking, but was he? Is that a good sign from the movie or a sign of disaster? I take all that stuff with a grain of salt. So I didn't hear about that particular incident, but I know that Mark Hamill has been a little bit disgruntled, and so whether he's being honest or not, who knows? But it's not going to change the fact that I'm going to see it. Now that I know that I'm going to be off when the premiere happens, I'm going to get tickets as early as possible so I can see it for you guys. Darther, stop playing Snake and put down your Nokia 3310. This, my friend, is a freaking Note 10, so shut up. It's a good phone. I will not hold my breath for JJ Trek 4, neither will I. Mr. Miles agrees Elite Force was fun. Yeah, I haven't played that in so long. I wonder if you can still get it like on Steam or anything. Gary says, there's no decent Star Trek games for consoles. I've heard that like there was one, but I can't remember what it was, to be honest with you. I won an STD Ensign Medal badge at Comic-Con because I answered who was Worf's father, decent quality crap show. Yes. Jeffrey, in the TMG game, A Final Unity on the PC was great. I don't think I played that one. Mr. Miles says, I'd love to see a Star Trek Armada 3. Yeah, it's kind of, but you know, the problem with the Armada games, and I had a big, even though I know that you have to do balancing things to make the game more playable, but it never felt like if you got the big-ass starship, it didn't feel like you were that much of a badass. And when the Borg would show up, they were really just slightly more powerful than the high-end starship. So it really, I didn't care. Cadet from Season 1 is what you mean. Yeah, those are actually interesting badges. Mercer suggests Bridge Crew. Yeah, I've heard people like that. Teletype, I don't even know how to spell it. Yeah, I know. Teletype is an ancient device that has not been used in a long time. After playing your Teletype game, you sat for a new invention called a photograph, and you're going to listen to the talking box by Mr. Edison on a wax cylinder. You know, you're not that far off, Darth Revan. Let me see here. 1970. Let me see if I can find one that looks. Actually, yeah, this is almost identical. In fact, I think this is the model that we played the game on. This is not in perfect condition, but let me see if I grab this picture. Let's see. It's in the 10K file. Bring that. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm getting an image up here. All right, so this is a teletype. And this is the exact type of teletype that we played that Star Trek game on. If you notice on the left-hand side, that's where you feed the punch cards or punch tape into it. And then you can also see there is a touch tone phone pad on it. By the way, this is a 1975 model. This is the actual model that we used. And then you can plug a phone cord directly into it and dial into a mainframe computer. And so obviously there's no such thing as a computer monitor in those days. You would simply print pages. And it was a typewriter, not a printer. So you could not print graphics of any kind. Bird Prey says, in my headcanon, there was a lot of Klingon-Romulan mating during the time, and they were trading technology and possibly allies. Also made sense why Romulans and Klingons mated. Well, you know, I'm sure you think about that a lot because, you know, you're a Klingon and Klingon women, you know, yeah. So readily in the TAG episode where Worf went looking for his father. Okay. Try to mute it instead of for the new subscriber. I did. That's the thing. I went into the dashboard for Streamlabs, and under the alert box, I unchecked subscribers, but then it's rechecked. I unchecked it. I then said save settings. But then when I go back to, okay, so I go back to the dashboard, go back to the alert box settings, and it's checked again. So it won't stay unchecked. I got to figure out why that is. Enter as a naval war game, there should be hardcore Star Trek Fleet Commander game. Enter has, I'm not sure what you mean there. I can see where you're seeing that Budweiser Brewery ahead of the 2009 would ruin it for you. Yeah. Dardan said, you should wear green morph suit on the stream with eyes cut out for your glasses. I've thought about that, actually. And let's see. Trek 95 calling me a jerk. Well, I was just telling you the truth. Carlos says, the Connie had the old TOS space frame, but the Excelsior would have a new design for the transwarp drive, so it would last to TNG. Transwarp might have been why the warp scale changed. Well, I think transwarp is why the warp scale changed. But I also, but there's, if the Miranda class structurally can handle being, 24th century tech, I don't see why the Connie couldn't. Please silence your cell phones. Well, I can't because, there are certain people that if they need to reach me, I need to be reachable. So you're telling me from the time the stream started till you came on, you and everyone else yelled, "Shut up, Wesley," over and over. Yes, we do that on a regular basis. And then Bird of Prey, after his prank text message, says, Frank sends his regards. Really, Bird? You're really, really going to go there, Bird? I mean, with the things I have at my disposal, you're going to say that. All right, what should we do here? I think we'll just finish the live stream with some bird music. I think that was me texting you. Please give me back your bank details. The Nigerian royal family is waiting to transfer $35 million. Oh, very good. I'm looking forward to that $35 million. Wesley says, does Josh voice every character in the Super Chats? No, I voiced some of them. And Mrs. Antitricker's voiced a couple. Bird has voiced himself. And Dr. Alex has voiced himself. Did you see Mark Hamill crying? Made me say F. Ryan Johnson's mother for having him. I did not see that. Carlo says, could I have Bird of Prey 5, the last Klingon hero, if it's okay? Forgot to ask before. Sure, Carlo. Let me bring that up because you know what? That will make Bird hurt. So that's all good in my book.
This is the story of the unsung hero of the Klingon Empire, Joe. Joe was the only Klingon in history to dare to call Captain James T. Kirk a coward and live. Joe not only fought the mighty Captain Kirk to a standstill, he also beat the legendary Montgomery Scott in hand-to-hand combat. Joe had a plan to overthrow his commander Kang by tricking Kang into fighting against Kirk. But the fight was interrupted by several Starfleet officers. Joe then made the mistake of trying to fight Spock in hand-to-hand combat. Spock used a Vulcan nerve pinch on Joe, causing severe nerve damage. It was years before Joe could even speak again. To this day, Joe has been unable to walk. However, he has managed to build up a strangely successful singing career.
Alamarain, count to 4. Alamarain, then 3 more. Alamarain, if you can see. Alamarain, you'll come with me. Alamarain, count to 4. Alamarain, then 3 more. Alamarain, if you can see. Alamarain, you'll come with me. Alamarain, count to 4. Alamarain, then 3 more. Alamarain, if you can see. Alamarain, you'll come with me. Alamarain, count to 4. Alamarain, then 3 more. Alamarain, if you can see. Alamarain, then you'll come with me.
Thanks, Joe, for being an inspiration for every brain-damaged Klingon out there.
Hello, world.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Dang it, I'm muted. I pulled a bird of prey. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate it. Darren hit me on Skype to let me know, hey, you idiot, you're muted. So, backing up to what I was saying. STD, Spike, and Thomas says, STD, Spock, and Pike are at my convention center this December. Maybe I should get you an autograph of Smiling Spock. No, I'm not that evil. Let me tell you, Anson Mount and Ethan Peck, to me, were the best part of Star Trek Discovery Season 2. And so if I were to get an autographed picture of the two of them, as long as it's not Spock actually smiling, I would actually like that. I wouldn't prize it like my prize picture of me with William Shatner, but I would definitely keep that one. Now, if somebody were to send me, say, an autographed picture of Sonequa Martin Green dressed as Michael Burnham, I would probably burn that. Just saying. So, Darth Vader says, actually, that's old as F, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're old. Yes, I'm old. Thank you. And Admiral Broco throws 10 fake Canadian dollars into the chat. Says, I heard a rumor that Star Trek 4, The Search for More Money, was back on. Is this true? Mega Chat, dealer's choice. It is technically true that they are back in talks about doing a Star Trek 4. However, honestly, Admiral, I think that the odds are still slim that it'll actually get produced, and even if it does get produced, I think the odds are even slimmer that it will be a hit, because I don't think anybody gives a crap about the so-called Kelvin timeline or JJ-verse. And dealer's choice on a mega chat, well, let me see, is it this one?
In the great hall of the Justice League, there floats the world's 4 greatest turds. Created from cosmic indigestion, Super Turd, Wonder Turd, Bat Turd, Aqua Turd, and those 2 junior Super Turds, Lore Reloaded and Punchy the Wonder Cat.
Oh, man. Thomas says, didn't you play the Trek smoke signal game? That was just mean. That was just mean. Jerk. Man, I'm so far behind. Darren says, did you see E.C. Henry's video about the Miranda class having more internal room volume than the Connies? I found that interesting, and I like that he did the math. No wonder they lasted. Yeah, I like that video. It makes sense. When he asked the question at the beginning of the video, which do you think is larger, the Connie or the Miranda? My first thought was the Miranda is actually a bigger ship. It just has a lower profile. Trek 95 says, do it, for some reason. And Orville Nation, thank you so much, puts $2. I somehow missed that one, but says, super chat just for the stream title. You are awesome. Thank you, Orville. And yes, of course I am, but I can't let that go to my head. Wesley says, bird music scares the demons away. It certainly does. No, bird singing, only he should suffer, not us. I know, it's difficult. From what I remember, Romulans wasn't compatible with humans nor Klingons when it came to breeding. It shouldn't be. And actually, the funny thing is, like, humans have iron-based blood. Vulcan/Romulans have copper-based blood. So that in and of itself should make it so that there's no way to have a hybrid, even though Spock exists. And then, of course, we don't even know what is the basis for Klingon blood, but it's purple. So what's up with that? Great Troll is in the house, says, Hail, how you doing, my friend? Springtime says, the Constitution class probably just fell out of favor with Starfleet over the years after the 2310s for whatever reason. Yeah, but I love that design, and it pisses me off that they didn't that they didn't do anything with it. But could Joe outdrink Scotty? No. Darth Roden says, read this. Hey, everybody here, please subscribe to Bird O Prey 5. He's a great guy, upbeat, and he has a great channel. Let's help him out with subs. https www.youtube.com/user/birdoprey5. And Daniel just subscribed. Thank you, Daniel. Darth Rain says, sponsored by Beagle Bites. Yes, that Beagle Bites is in fact the official sponsor of the Bird of Prey 5 channel. Most people don't realize that Sassy is actually a different dog every time. I'm not saying what happens, just letting you know. And there's a reason that Sassy is so plump, as are all the beagles in Kuroga. I meant Romans and Klingons weren't compatible when it came to breeding. Yeah, I don't think that they are. But I don't think that they're, they shouldn't be compatible with humans either. And there's all the, yes, I muted and I'm an idiot. And I see RoloCat put the $2 super chat in the middle of all the mute. Now it makes sense. Oh, man. Wow, I was muted for a while there. Stop pulling a Bird of Prey 5. That Teletype makes my Intellivision look like a new console. Yeah, that thing was old. All right, so look, it's a talkie film. Yes, I managed to get it back on. It's definitely called an anti-trekker now, I'll tell you. Yes, you pulled an anti-teller. No, it was I pulled a bird. That's what it was. And there's Admiral Bro Codes Fake 10, and thank you so much, Admiral. I do appreciate it. Darren says, I'm still waiting for Spaceballs 3, The Search for Spaceballs 2. You know, they should do that. That would actually be a great title for Spaceballs sequel. Let's do that. And Bird of Prey 5 should be the super turd villain. That's not a bad idea. That might be worth doing. And hello, let's see. Indie Tiger puts $2 in. Thank you so much. No comment, just the $2. Thank you, Indie Tiger. I truly appreciate it. Robert says Starfleet should use the Doomsday Machine to turn the Doomsday Machine into a weapon to use against the Borg. Robert, you absolutely must find, and I'm sure you can find it on eBay or whatever, or Amazon, find the book Vendetta. It is a Star Trek The Next Generation book, and it deals with that exact subject. Check it out. It is freaking awesome. Do you play the Star Trekking game when you map the stars with ancients? Jeez, what is with you guys? Live with Matthew says, hey, Anti-Trekker, how's it going? Well, I was doing good until everybody started making fun of my age. Klingon blood is Pepto-Bismol. The Romulans had indigestion. So the Romulans swallow is what you're saying. T-Berg says 11.4K. Congrats. Thank you. Yes, it's amazing. Let's see it, you and Will Shatner, and it would have been great. It would get Justice League movie as use Super Friend theme. Maybe it would save the movie. Yeah. You want to see the picture of me and William Shatner? It's on the other side of the room, but I'll tell you what, Chief. I will play a little something for you and be right back. And so, just because I want to make sure that everybody knows what a special guy Bird of Prey 5 is.
Captain's log, stardate 44307.3. I'm preparing to leave by shuttlecraft for Pentaris 5, where I've been asked to mediate a dispute among the Salanite miners. A contentious group, unfortunately prone to violence. But first, I must deal with a situation of a far more personal nature.
What better way to get first-hand experience?
Captain, I'm picking up a general distress signal from Bird of Prey 5.
On screen.
Feel the fire, feel my love inside you so bright. There's the sound and the smell of love on my mind. I'm your toy, come play with me. Say the word now. Wrap your legs around me. Ride me tonight.
My love is a fever, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease.
I'm a man, I'm a goddess, I'm a man, I'm a virgin. I'm a man, I'm a blue movie. I'm a man, I'm a bitch. I'm a man, I'm a geyser. I'm a man, I'm a little girl. And we'll make love together. This sounds very pedo-ish.
In faith, I do not love thee with mine eyes, for they in thee 1,000 errors see, but 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, who, in despite of view, art pleased to dote. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
What? Oh my God.
When I have plucked the rose, I cannot give it vital growth again. It needs, must wither.
Why are you saying these things? Music to make love to an old ladybug.
You wonderfully jealous fool, you.
Wow, well that's basically rape. That is rape as a song. Congratulations. I gotta go turn myself in.
Alright, so I got it. So Chief Cook, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures here. So this is a picture I picked up at this William Shatner signed 8x10 glossy. Yes, he signed it in front of me. And it's actually, if you can tell, this one is actually one that he did for the wife. It says, to Bridget, William Shatner. Then I have to hold my hand over part of this picture because Mrs. Anti-Tricker is in the picture with me. There is me and the great William Shatner from just a couple of years ago. And Mrs. Anti-Tricker is right there with him as well. Next, a couple of random pictures that I just happen to have from another event that I went to. Here is me and Carl Urban. Big fan of Carl Urban. And notice Carl is a pretty tall guy. I didn't realize that. He's actually a little bit taller than me, and I'm 6'1". And then another person who's taller than I expected, but was me, David Tennant, and Billy Piper. And I have to say that Billy was an absolute wonderful person. David Tennant was all right, but he was nice and polite and everything, but Billy was just the sweetest person I think I've ever met at a convention, particularly the way she treated Joshua. All right, so back to the chat. Then I do need to wrap things up. There were half Klingon Romulan hybrids in TNG. I understand they exist, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't be compatible. Bird of Prey says thank you to Darth Revan and me. And there's Indie Tigers $2. Thank you again. Did you say I just subbed and I have been subbed for years now? No, there was another Daniel. Given the failure of Discovery and just a sour feeling around Star Trek, they would be better off waiting to see the Picard series is good. The Mandalorian is good. Been enjoying that. Yeah, I agree. I think they could make Picard good and salvage things. I hope that they do. Weird question. Speaking about alien blood, what would you have silver blood? I don't know, but that would be an interesting one. You could do a silver blood species. Do you remember the Abacus Star Trek game? Shut up. Live now, don't listen to those old age haters. There's nothing wrong with pushing your 70s. BJ is in the house saying, I'm finally watching you. Cool video. Hey, BJ, good to see you, my friend. Even though you were driving me crazy a little while ago, texting me during this live stream. But thank you. BJ is a good friend. A co-worker of mine. And so nice to see you, my friend. Josh says, why do you and Bird of Prey love trying to bring back silent films? You guys are just mean. Mr. Williams, Holly, Mr. Friend Buddy, don't think you're old. A young uncle maybe, but not old. Thanks, I think. Wow, you guys are just on the age thing. Aberjam says, greetings, brother. Guess I'm late to the party, but figure I'd say hi. Anyway, thank you, my friend. Mike Richards says, don't feel old. Next summer I turn 63, and shortly after that, I will be a great-grandfather. Well, very cool. I bet that's exciting. You know what? I understand. They say you're only as old as you feel, but the problem is I feel old. But thank you, Mike. Valor says, some of the Klingon women are beautiful, better than naked Aunt May, and sexier than 7 of 9. Some of them look okay, but, you know, the forehead bumps and the weird things they do with their noses, I don't think so. Gary says, writing a video now, going to DM you, the link on Twitter, won't go public until Wednesday. Very cool. Jeff says, have you seen the YouTube video by Pogo titled Picard and Data? Great, funny video. I think I have, yes. Darth Revan wants to know, what's wrong with your hair? Well, it was short back then. Nice Greatest American Hero shirt. Yes, I love that shirt. And Wesley's like, oh, no, Mrs. Anticker. Well, you know the rules. Cool pictures. Thank you. You're a 6'1" hobbit. Yes. Well, you saw I was towering over William Shatner, and I'm about the same height as David Tennant, and just a little bit shorter than Carl Urban, so you could do the math. Gary says, not a Carl Urban fan. He's just not a real McCoy. Here's the thing, though. Now, first of all, I think he was the best part of the Star Trek 2009 cast, but that's not why I'm a fan of Carl Urban. And so I loved him in a lot of other stuff that had nothing to do with his Star Trek appearance. We damn a 15-year-old picture of Mrs. Anti-Checker. Demand a 15-year-old picture of Mrs. Anti-Checker. Sorry, not going to happen. Nightbreeze says, hey, how you doing, my friend? Let's see. BJ, can you give us any dirt on Anti-Checker? Don't you dare, BJ. You're only as old as you act. Well, in that case, I think I'm about 12. So that's a good thing. Average says, you're only as old as the woman you feel. That's an interesting way to put it. Daniel says, Anti-Checker, the Mandalorian's armor is made of Beskar, the strongest steel made in the galaxy that we know of, while Jango and Boba Fett's armor is made of Durasteel. Well, that may be, but all we really know is, I mean, because at least from what I've seen in the films, I don't know what's been in the Clone Wars and stuff. All I know is that the armor has a very similar style to it, you know. But is that relevant? Honestly, I don't know. With Baby Yoda out there now, what Star Trek species, baby, do you want to see? Baby Klingon, Baby Klingorks, Baby Andorian thoughts? I think you could make, like, Baby Klingons be ridiculously cute to compete with Baby Yoda. And that would just be so weird because, you know, and have them, like, have those big old eyes like Baby Yoda, but have them have messed up baby teeth because Klingons have messed up teeth. Mr. Wolverine, only as old as I feel. Most days I feel 85. Yeah. Those images are obviously photoshopped to make you appear taller. Do you know what the symbol on the Greatest American Hero chest represents? No. But I've always liked it. Are you going to do a dead upload day tomorrow? Are you going to do the dead upload day tomorrow? What? Life with Matthew? Are you going to do the dead upload day tomorrow? I have no idea what that statement even means. And BJ showing what a great geek cred he has is your space station is so cool. This is not a space station, BJ. This is the bridge of the USS Enterprise. Now, first of all, let me say this. BJ is a dear friend, and I make fun of him all the time to his face. So BJ has zero geek cred at all. So, he probably does not recognize what's behind me. But I love you, BJ, and thanks for coming by. I guess I'm a bit biased as my girlfriend loves to cosplay as a Klingon. Well, Valor, if your girlfriend is dressed up as a Klingon, then yeah. I mean, if Mrs. Anticker were wearing some Klingon armor, let me tell you. Oh, man. Anticker just can't see a Klingon joining Starfleet. I think it would. I think he was just a weak Klingon to join it. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, I couldn't see that either. Okay, picture from when you met, maybe? Well, maybe, one day. At 100,000 subs, I'll definitely... I have a great picture that was taken of her. That it's not a picture of us, but it's a picture of her that was taken just before we met. So you could actually see what she looked like the day I met her. Darth loves Shatner's Twitter. You know, I don't follow him on Twitter. Well, I do, but I don't read a lot of Shatner stuff on Twitter. I know that he is definitely anti-SJW, which, you know, I do appreciate. Darth Revan says, if the Mandalorian armor was a blaster and saber proof, why didn't the Jedi wear Beskar steel armor? Maybe because it's just not practical. Because I mean, even that Imperial guy said it's harder to, you know, it's really, really hard to find that armor or that metal, and he had access to Imperial stuff. Why not Baby Andorian? Well, you could do a Baby Andorian as well, but I just think it'd be funny to do a Klingon baby with messed up baby teeth. The symbol on Great American Hero's chest is an open book, like the one he lost in the desert and explained how to control suit. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that. Thank you for not doing Movember for all those who saw your chin in the universe. Thanks you. Yeah, I know. My chin is horrible. Mr. Miles says, it's never made clear how the Fets got the Mandalorian-style armor because it's made of Durasteel and it's not authentic Mandalorian armor. It's left mystery to exact origin. Yeah, so... so we don't really know. Carlos says, Mrs. Antiker isn't really just anti-trekker with a voice modulation app. Sorry, only joking. Yeah, you trust me. I understand why you might think that, but no, she is real. And in fact, that's why I need to wrap it up here, because she's probably waiting to have dinner, and she's like wondering when I'm going to finish up. Beskar is very strong, while Durasteel is significantly less strong and significantly less Mandalorian. Fair enough, but I don't. The thing is, unless they explain that in the show, it's not going to mean anything, and that's the thing. You got to think of it from a normie perspective. Dead Upload Day is not posting content on YouTube tomorrow in protest for the better COPA regulations for content creators. Well, I don't have anything to upload, so I will be participating, but not because of that. But let me say this about the COPA or however you say it thing. It's not YouTube's fault that they have to follow these rules. Now, what is YouTube's fault is that they are very, very vague on what compliance means. And that's something that YouTube does with all of their policies. But as far as them, as far as the have to mark whether it's for children or not, and that if it is for children, but you mark that it's not for children, you can get in trouble, that's not YouTube's fault. That's simply adhering to the law. And I do believe that the law is there for a good reason. The problem is that they make it so that it's harder to understand what those laws are. And 80 likes, a new record. I don't know what the record on likes is. I know we've gotten over 100 people on the stream, but I don't know what the record for likes is. Congrats, you caught up. Yeah, that's good, because I'm actually late and I need to wrap things up. The reason that Jedi don't use that metal is because they don't need it. They use the Force to shore up their defense. Also, they prefer to travel light from everything we've seen. That's true. Back when Mrs. Antriker was pre-Stockholm Syndrome with her eyes were full of life. Yes. Love to see a Trek episode going back to the planet from a piece of the action. That could be interesting. Did Mrs. Antriker decide to make dinner for you? No, I think I have to make my own dinner. Let's blame Steve Shives for COPA. Good idea. Because he probably wrote part of it. Congrats, you almost got caught up before you started waffling again. Yes, indeed. My cinema is advertising an autism-friendly Star Wars. What the heck is that? I'll tell you what that is that's usually what they do for autism-friendly showings. They turn down the sound because overstimulation tends to bother people on the spectrum. 82 watching and 85 likes. Well, that's good. That's not cheating. Editor, I hear that a major cameo will come on The Mandalorian soon. I hope it will be either Luke or Boba Fett. Well, Boba Fett is dead. So I don't think it'll be Boba Fett, because remember, at the time of The Mandalorian, Boba Fett is in the pit of the Sarlacc. Is Steve Shives still lost in space? Yes. Type faster so Antriker can't catch up. Too late, Zachary. I am caught up, and with that, I am going to wrap it up. Sorry, Aberjam. I know you don't want to let me leave. I appreciate that so much, but I do need to wrap things up because I do need to get some dinner going, and I also need to get some work done because I'm going to continue to push out videos as much as I can while we are ahead of the game. And so go back to Patterns of Force episode. Bird of Prey could be the planet leader. That's true. That is absolutely true. All right, guys. So thank you for hanging out with me. You guys are the best. Thank you all that have been subscribers for a while and new subscribers and even BJ. Thank you all, because I truly appreciate it. I couldn't have gotten to 10,000 without you. Take care and absolutely have a wonderful night, morning, afternoon, whatever it is in your time zone.
I love men. That's me saying it, not Darth Revan. I love men. 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 Love men. Love men.
You son of a bitch, anti-tracker!
I love men. I love men. I love men. I love men. But that's me saying it, not Darth Revan. I love men. But that's me saying it, not Darth Revan. I love men. But that's me saying it, not Darth Revan. I love men. I love men. I love men, not Darth Revan.
You son of a bitch, anti-tracker!
I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. I love men. That's me. I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. Not Darth Revan. I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. Not Darth Revan. I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. Not Darth Revan. I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. Not Darth Revan.
You son of a bitch, anti-tracker!
I love Darth Revan. 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 I love men. That's Darth Revan. I love Darth Revan. I love men. Not Darth Revan. I love Darth Revan. I love men. Darth Revan.
You son of a bitch, anti-tracker!
I love Darth Revan. I love Darth Revan. Darth Revan. I love men. Darth Revan. I love Darth Revan. I love men. I love Darth Revan. I love men. I love that's men. Not Darth Revan. I love men. I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. Love men. Not Darth Revan. I love men. I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. That's me saying it. Darth Revan. I love men. Son of a bitch! Darth Revan. I love men. That's me saying it. Darth Revan. I love men. That's me saying it. Darth Revan. I love men. Darth Revan. I love men. That's me. Darth Revan. I love men. That's me. Darth Revan.
Oh, Rock Solid throws a bucket to stop the insanity. Thank you, Gary. I do appreciate it, and I will wrap it up with number 17. I promise, no more craziness. But I had to get Bird back for all that, all those texts. With that, thank you all for hanging out with me, and have a wonderful day, or night, or whatever. And yes, absolutely, Wesley, me poo. Hashtag me poo.
Hey, you want to learn about Jesus?
There's no such thing as hooker-client confidentiality.
Hey, dude. Hiroga number 5. Hello, world.
I got him! Great hit!
Dang it, Wesley. I was just going to stop the live stream when you put that in, you jerk. And so, any lies? I didn't lie. I didn't. Did you say anything bad? You were just saying Kuroga number 5, and then I was gonna sign out with that, but no, you didn't give me a chance. But Wesley wants number 15, so I am gonna wrap it up with number 15. Nothing after number 15, I swear. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful whatever it is.
Sir, we are being hailed. On screen. What is your problem?
I am lore.
Do you need help?
I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Lore Reloaded.
Let me guess, their rubber band broke, right?
I make YouTube go.
And there it is. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.